Hey guys, this is Jason Balin and Chris Haddon from Hard Money Bankers. I wanted to do a quick video to follow up with the financing comparison video that we did recently. You know, I'm so shocked. We were at an auction recently down in DC, and you know, I ran into all these auction buyers, and I just cannot believe that some of those guys have never heard of hard money lenders, and they just don't know kind of that there's money available for them, you know, to buy their deals, and they're getting stuck up on it as they're bidding, they're bidding on properties at auctions. They're like, oh, I'd love to buy this one other property, I just don't have the money for it.
Right. They think only cash buys auction properties. I'm shaking
my head like, are you freaking serious? Right. Like, you know, we'll fund those things. We'll fund, you know, darn near 100% of those things, and most hard money lenders will. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it is surprising, I guess, because we're in the world every day as hard money lenders, and that's what we do, and that's what our clients know, that people only know about banks and cash. Yeah. For the most part.
And maybe a friend that has money too.
Maybe a friend that has money. So the financing comparison that Jason mentioned before, that we have a cool video, we'll put a link up to that too, breaks down the pros and cons of each one of using bank financing to buy an investment property, using cash, using a JV partner. Yeah, a joint venture, so someone's putting up the money and then you're splitting the profits in some way, or a hard money lender. And there are pros and cons to all of them.
That's right.
But, I mean, obviously we're a little biased. We're a little biased being hard money lenders, but there are a lot of pros to using a lending company.
Exactly.
Like
and listen, most people don't have cash to buy all their deals, and most people don't have banking relationships to do all their deals or qualify for banks. And the guys that we know in this space that use banks, they lever up those banks pretty quickly, and the banks tap their lines.
True.
You know, the guys that are doing, you know, 100+ deals a year.
Yeah.
So
and it's not because they aren't qualified. It's because banks, for the most part, don't do investment property construction deals. Yeah. They just don't. When I worked at a bank, we didn't do one of them.
Exactly. And when they do, they're limited. I mean, they're still, you know, they're still a pain in the absolute neck to deal with. So in that financing comparison, the number one thing to look out for was the cash-on-cash return based on hard money, minimal amount of cash, and the best return on it. You know, obviously, if you're using your own cash, you're going to get the highest rate. You know, you're going to get the highest profit, but your cash-on-cash return is going to be the lowest. Right. So there were just so many benefits of it, and you know, again, going back to that auction, you know, a few guys that I was talking to there, and you know, they were buying, I don't know, he probably had like $1 million liquid at the time, and you know, and I mean, in DC, that could be one property, that could be 2 or 3 properties, and that's it. Right. You know, with construction, and he was like, yeah, I don't really want to get into this deal. You know, I think it's going to be too tight money-wise, not like profit-wise. The profit was great, so I'm going to pass on it. And I was like, listen, you know, if you want, like, I'll do this entire deal for you. It's a $400,000 deal. You're probably only gonna need like $40,000, $50,000, you know, to do it to begin with, and you know, get it passed. And and I just couldn't believe that he was shocked. And
you buy 5 properties instead of 1.
And exactly. And you know, the rule that we've always said is, if you have $100,000, you know, available to you, do you want to buy one property at $100,000 or 10 properties with $10,000 into each of them? Sure. Like you know, that's something that we kind of came up with like 8 years ago, and I think about it every day. And I'm just so surprised that every time I go to an auction, or every time I deal, you know, I work with or talk to new borrowers, and I mean, these are guys that are in the space. They're doing lots of deals. They understand real estate. They're not just kind of fumbling through it. Like, they've been in the space for years. They own rental properties. They do a lot of flips. They have huge crews. Like, they have the ability, you know, they have inside access to deals. Like, they have the ability to scale, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 times overnight by just, you know, levering up with a hard money lender. You know, so.
Yeah, on that note, I also got a call, I mentioned this, from an agent the other day who owns 30 rental properties herself. Yeah. And had never, I mean, she had heard of hard money, but really didn't know how it worked, or how, you know, she might be able to take advantage of it to grow her business. So yeah, it's something that needs to be
I don't know if I want to slap her or slap ourselves for not, you know, for not being like, where are we? Why aren't we in front of you?
Let's go with both. I mean, we're doing the best we can. We're here, you know, putting out the content to teach everyone about taking advantage of private money, but we can also slap her too for not being aware of what's going on.
Exactly. It's like, I don't even care if you use us, just use somebody. Like, what are you doing with this? And it's just so much cash. I mean, the other day, we looked at a loan for somebody that had all these properties free and clear, and they didn't know they had all these properties free and clear, and they were like, yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm equity rich, I'm cash poor, I really want to buy this deal, but I just can't. I'm like, you got $2 million in free and clear properties. What do you mean you can't? Yeah. She was like, well, my bank told me, you know, I got to file my tax returns for 2015 first, and I got to do this, and I'm like, forget all that. Like, we'll get this taken care of. So, exactly. With,
That's fun.
tax returns, the only time that name ever comes up in our world is when you're filing your own tax returns. No one, not asking for any of that stuff.
Right.
Don't need it. It doesn't do any good. It's a collateral-based loan. So, rule of thumb is, if you're buying properties and you're tight on cash, consider using hard money lender, specifically hardmoneybankers.com. We're here for you, Maryland, Virginia, DC, and the Philadelphia region. Thanks again, Jason and Chris at Hard Money Bankers.
See you next time.